Cut the damn music. Cut the damn music.
What we cutting the music for, Tom? What's the problem?
Cut the music. Cut the music. Cut the music.
Oh, boy.
I got in a lot of trouble.
Uh-oh.
In a lot of trouble today.
I don't like how this is going.
And I need to put this out there.
Okay.
About 4 weeks ago. Y'all remember? I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember everything we do. About 4 weeks ago, we were doing a segment, and you asked us, give us the most underrated duo in the NBA, like a duo that is going to be pretty good this year that nobody's talking about.
Right.
And they were good. They were good. And our number one fan, like our number one most knowledgeable, most respected fan, watched the episode and said, "Yo, you guys didn't talk about this duo." And I went, "You're right. No one's talking about them. Heck, we didn't even think of them."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Will you make sure that the next episode you start that show off and you tell Hailey and you tell Jay, you tell them, this is my pick for most underrated duo that's going to be better than everybody thinks and that nobody is talking about."
Okay.
And I said, "All right." Well, week passed. I forgot. They hit me up. They're like, "Yo, you forgot." I'm like, "Shit, my bad." Week 2, I forgot. "Yo, you forgot." I'm like, "Damn." Week 3. Now it's just like, "Yo, why are you disrespecting me, B?" So I said, this week, I'm not even gonna let the music play. I'm gonna cut right in.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say one of the duos that is going to be better than we all think and that nobody is talking about. All right. And tell me what y'all think. Spencer Dinwiddie and Bridges. Dinwiddie and Bridges.
He's right.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
And that's what I when I heard it, I was like,
I don't hate it.
Because the whole thing was, we're not saying these are going to be, we weren't saying the best duo in the NBA. We said which duo is going to, like, no one's talking about, but it's going to, like, this is going to be a playoff duo.
Right.
So shout out to Fluent Jr. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry, sir. There you go. I won't get in trouble while we're eating our cornflakes in the morning.
That's what it sounded like, Tone. It sounded like you had gotten summoned by the young fella. Like, "Yo, Pop, what's going on, man?"
Yeah. You did him dirty.
I need to talk to you. Come in, man.
The coach, he's in his elbow, bro. It's a bam. I'm getting
unacceptable.
Get the people's elbow on my pops.
He's coming right through. He's dropping that elbow and like running away, like just doing it. And then the best part is, as he leaves the room, he goes like this. "Acknowledge me." I had to look that up in my tribal chief. So
I mean,
act like you know me. You better act like you know me, Dad.
Fluent Jr. Has Dinwiddie and Bridges, and again,
it's a great pick.
I ain't mad at that. That's a pretty damn good pick.
It really is, yo.
I mean, it kind of begs the question. A lot of people keep bringing this up, or the Brooklyn Nets, like they're, like I've said multiple times, they're kind of that oddball crew, but sometimes that type of crew will just come out when you're least expecting it. And I really do think that the Nets could be a much higher seed than we're expecting, especially with those teams like Miami, who ends up 7 or 8.
Yeah, what did they win? 45? What they win? 45, 46 games?
Yeah.
Brooklyn? Yeah. I think they
that was with the transition of all the
and that was, I don't chaos. Know. I don't know. I like if you had to do over under 45.
In the Eastern Conference?
Yeah.
I think they could.
They lost Kyrie and they lost Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but think about how many games those two combined missed, Jay.
How many did they play? Like, I get it, when they played together, they won a lot.
Yeah.
But they didn't play that much.
But it is
I think 45 games in the Eastern Conference for this crew, considering Milwaukee's going to be better. Boston is going to be better. Cleveland is going to be better. The Knicks are going to be better. Miami is going to be better this season. So that's just 5 teams right there. That's not considering all the other teams in the East that are going to be jockeying for like 7, 8 and like 7, 8 and 9 spots. Right. So it's not ridiculous to think that they could win 45 games. But if I'm going to go, to be honest with you, Tone, I'll go over 45, but I'll go to 47. That's as far as I'm going.
That's the number that I had in mind. I'm like 46, 47. It's just barely, but I think they'll be.
That's as far as I'm going.
I'm not going past 47. I think defensively, they'll be the most consistent team in the East.
Mhm.
Like we're going to see
Okay.
runs from the Bucks and some of those other teams for sure, where they reel off a bunch of wins. But I don't know. I think they're focused. I think the Bucks learned a valuable lesson: be ready and healthy for the playoffs.
Yes.
Miami already knows that. I think Boston already knows that. They're not gonna push. They're not gonna push Porzingis to, you know what I'm saying, who's the new addition to the team. They're not gonna push him to play 80 games. They're gonna be like, hey, let's feel each other out. Let's get ready. We want to be hitting on all cylinders in the playoffs. So I think you're gonna see a lot of teams at that like 45 to 55. We might see 6 or 7 teams at kind of 45 to 55. That's what I'm thinking.
Here's the difference, though, Tone. The difference is that now they've implemented the new resting policy, so that pushing guys to play a lot of games. I think that's going to be different this year, man. I do, because when I think about Porzingis played over 60 games last year, right?
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Do you want to start there with how the NBA's new rules? All right.
I don't want to jump the gun. H already got us. Figured out on what we're doing. So I don't want to jump the gun here.
No, it's a good segue, because now that we've had a few days to kind of sit on it, the initial shock of, not that it was really shock, because I think we all knew it was coming. But a lot of this, I mean, you have to look deeper, right? Like why is Adam Silver finally now implementing this with the collective bargaining agreement, right? Well, we know there's a new TV deal coming. So we know that that's kind of a major reason why these players have to play. The fans are, the viewership and all the things that go into that have been falling. And that's pretty obvious, because it's obviously because of the stars that are consistently sitting out. And I have a lot of questions, but yeah, Jay, kind of give me the base of, do you like this? Do you not? And which team do you think will kind of feel the impact?
Well, there was a question earlier today, the over and undertone. Who's the first team to get fined for this?
Phoenix.
The over under was the Clippers.
Yeah,
they're going to be they're going to be the first one. They're going to be the first ones to get fined. And
the viewership in the playoffs
is Kevin Durant exempt? Is Kevin Durant? I don't know. I don't have the example.
Yes,
I have every single one that we should go through slide by slide. So
sure.
Let's go through each rule, and then we'll. I don't have the exempt list, so maybe if one of you can pull that up while I go.
Well, it's not an exempt list. More than this, it's a rule, and the rule is a guy that's 35, years old, that's been in the league for I think over 10 years. Okay. He's exempt.
Okay, so does KD
James?
Okay, because the reason I said KD right away, or Phoenix right away, is because they have Booker, who I think doesn't qualify.
Nope.
Beal, who probably doesn't qualify. Ayton, who probably doesn't qualify.
Nope.
And then I didn't know about KD. So if KD does qualify on the exempt list, maybe not them. But I thought if they had 4 players, the likelihood of those two of those guys,
right,
it's more likely, because I thought they had more players that fit into that aren't allowed to do that stage. Right. That's why I picked them off the cuff. The Clippers make sense too, for sure. So let me go through the rules. So the new rules: no more than 1 star player is unavailable for the same game. So that's why I said Phoenix. Teams must ensure that star players are available for national TV and in-season tournament games. Teams must maintain a balance between the number of 1-game absences for a star player in home and road games, with a preference for those absences to happen at home. Meaning, if they miss 5 games, it should be 3 at home, 2 on the road. And they want you, if you're going to miss games, because you have 41 home games, but maybe only 1, right, in a other conference city, they want you in those games. Yeah. Teams must refrain from any long-term shutdown or near shutdown when a star player stops participating in games or plays in a materially reduced role in circumstances affecting the integrity of the game. I believe
that means that Anthony Davis, when they're talking about trading him, ain't none of that sitting him out nonsense.
And Luke at the end of the season, so they can get a pick. Yeah,
none of that.
No.
I think it's more Kyrie Irving sitting and Luka playing 5 seconds.
Right. Yes, no more of that.
They could keep their top 10 draft pick. Yeah, which I like. Teams must ensure that healthy players resting for a game are present and visible to fans. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
League honors requirement.
Rewind, Tone. If they're resting players, they must be what?
They must be
Visible.
present and visible to fans.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be on the bench. That could be in the press box, right? As long as it's a visible, they sitting in the front row waving to everybody, I guess. Which I don't mind. All right. The league honors requirements. So this we already know, but it's in the rules. The player played in at least 65 regular season games. So just for the record, because I put this trivia question out there a while ago, and I said, how many games does a player have to play to win MVP? And everyone said a number. And before this rule came into effect, I was like, no, actually it's 0. Now, with the sports writers or whoever the hell vote in someone who played 0 games as MVP? No. But the fact that they could have said, I know you played 0 games, but your team didn't, for example, David Robinson played 16 games or 12 games that season that the Spurs stunk and they got the first overall pick and got they won 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
no, in 97. It was in 97.
Oh, yeah, in 97. Yeah. So however many games he missed, I think he only played 16 or something crazy like that, right? And they go, oh my God, now they got the first round pick. They get Tim Duncan. Oh, so David Robinson's clearly the most valuable player, and they all vote for him. They technically could have done that because he was the most valuable to the team. They went from winning, I think it was 60 games 2 years before, 50-something games, and then whatever they won, and they got the first overall pick. When Steph Curry was out, didn't the Warriors win 5 games that season?
Something like that.
Crazy like that. Yeah. When they got the first pick or the second pick for Wiseman. So they technically could have. I know they wouldn't, but but they had the fact that they had the ability. All right. So that, and one more. The player played in at least 62 regular season games. Oh, there's an exemption to the 65 game rule. I didn't know if you know this or not. The player played in at least 62 regular season games, suffered a season-ending injury, and played in at least 85% of the regular season games played by his team prior to the player suffering said injury.
Right. So what that means in English is if you played 62 games and you averaging 35 minutes a game, but in 2 of these games to get up to that, you basically checked yourself in and checked yourself out. That doesn't work. No, that does not work.
No, the 85% of the regular season games, I think, is this. So they're saying 62 games today because I believe that's 85% of 82. I don't know if someone wants to do the math for me there. But I'll do it. 82 of 65%. No, that's only 53. So there's an either or. So it's at least 62 games and an injury or 85%. So that would be 53 games. But also I think they put the percentages in because if they ever change the amount of games.
Hurt.
Yeah, if you get hurt. Season-ending injury.
Hurt. Right. If you have a season-ending injury.
Yeah.
And by the way, you got to substantiate that, Tone. Like we're not shutting you down after 55 games and you can't give us a legit reason why your injury is season ending. Did you need surgery? Do you have a torn ligament? Or you have to substantiate that. You can't just say that.
Yeah. You need to be Aaron Rodgers.
And I was going to share a little bit of, because, some people have the question of, okay, well, if, somebody says they pulled their hamstring or they have a, bone contusion or whatever, how are they supposed to differentiate if that's real or not? And essentially what the league now can do, if they suspect anything sus, they now reserve the right to essentially send in an independent doctor and have that doctor check out the player. And of course, we know the star rule is probably going to still have an effect on some of these players, whether it's Steph, LeBron, KD, even though they're kind of exempt. But yeah, it sounds like they're trying to tackle this on all fronts, which is good.
I don't think it is though, H. And the reason why I don't think it is simply because of the 65 game rule. Because these guys are going to have to watch lesser guys make the All-NBA team, make the All-League defensive team, and all of that stuff. And they say that it doesn't matter when we all know. I heard Dwight Howard say that he should have won the defensive player of the year 4 times in a row. I heard him say that. So to watch a guy, so for Anthony Davis to watch Domantas Sabonis make the All-NBA team again over him because he only played 55 games, he's not going to be happy about that. For one of the better forwards in the game, for KD to watch Julius Randle make the All-NBA team again over him, he's not going to be happy about that. I am sure that if you see these guys go from playing 55 games, 56 games to 67 games, you know some nonsense is going on.
So let me just quickly say I reread that and I think I understand it better now. So let me say it again.
Mm-hmm.
Player played in at least 62 regular season games, suffered a season-ending injury, and played in at least 85% of the regular season games played by his team prior to the player suffering the injury. So meaning the absolute minimum that you can play is 62. But let's say you get hurt at game whatever 70, but you played 85. You still had to play in 85% of your team's games at the day you got hurt. Does that make sense? So if you played 70 games, you had to at least play at least 80. Let's say you got hurt at team game 70. You had to at least play 85% of those 70 games.
Which I think that's 56 games.
Whatever that is, whatever that would be.
I think that's 56 games.
Yeah.
So if the team played 70 games, I have had to at least play 56 of those 70 games, which means I qualify if I got hurt in game 60, if I played 62 games.
Yeah, so there you go. And then the fines. So there's only two more things. So the fines. 100,000 for the first violation, 250,000 for the second violation, 1.25 million for the third violation.
Keep going, Tom.
I'm going. And the team will be fined $1 million more than its previous penalty for any violation beyond the third.
Now, with those fines that you just mentioned, Tone, where you think the owner is just paying that? Where you think that pay coming from?
Well, that's the tough one, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Where you think that pay is coming from? Because if you think that because you're not available when you can go and you're not playing, and that we now are penalized for this, I'm not going to keep paying you. Because the guidelines. The guidelines specifically say you have to be available for these games. The Golden State Warriors got the most games on TV this year. They played 41 games on TV on national television. That's half of their games is on national TV. So if half of their games are on national television and Steph Curry is sitting out of those 41 games, if he's sitting out half of those games, and we can't get a specific reason why, whether he's not hurt or he's resting. You have plenty of time to rest him in between those games. In between those 41 nationally televised games, you have plenty of time to rest him. If he's not hurt, and if you are resting him during that, and you can't give us legit logic why, and he's not hurt, then they have to pay that. And him sitting out, the Warriors are going to have to be on the hook for that. With that now being said, Steph Curry, we need to hold some of that money because you're not available. How can I pay you when I'm paying for you not being here?
Right. Yeah.
When you are available to work.
Do you have the definition? So here's the exception. If you can find out what the definition of a star player is too, that would be fantastic. So the NBA, here's the
definition of a star player is. I'm sorry.
You have it? Okay.
Yes. I remember that. I just saw it yesterday. Okay. So a star player is a guy who in the last 3 years been on the All NBA team. That's a star player. So
all star or All NBA player in the last. Do we know how many players have been All Stars or All NBA players in the last 3 years? Like, is there a number? I'd be curious to know that number.
I think it's like 40, if I'm not mistaken. So
it's only affecting 40 out of 500 players,
something like that. Yes.
All right. So here's the exception. So hold on. So that's 40 minus. The NBA will allow pre-approved designated back-to-back allowances for players who are 35 years old on opening night or have career workloads of 34,000 regular season minutes or 1,000 regular season and playoff games combined.
The LeBron
which
exception.
Means, the LeBron rule.
Yeah.
So what that means, however, is of those 40, I bet you that's like at least a third.
So you figure, Tone.
So that really applies to 25 guys, 30 guys.
So Adam Silver. Well, if you think about it, Tone, like how many stars are in the league? I mean, it's over 430 guys in the league. How many stars are in the league? Of those 400, 90% of them.
It depends who you ask, because every time I ask, this guy's a star, that guy's a star, everybody's a damn star.
It ain't 50 stars in the game. I'm not buying that.
I agree.
There are not 50 stars in the game, which means which means probably 90% of the league are not stars. 90% of the league is good and great players, but we don't have 50 guys that are stars. So, Tone, really quickly, teams with multiple stars, according to the NBA. So you got the Celtics, Philly, Golden State, the Clippers, the Lakers, Phoenix, Sacramento, Memphis, Chicago. Who's the stars in Chicago? So that would be DeRozan.
And Zach LaVine, probably.
Okay, that would be DeRozan and Zach LaVine. Cleveland, that's Mitchell.
That's all I would say. Like, are we going to call them
Darius Garland made the All-Star team.
You're right. Yeah.
Darius Garland made the All-Star team. Not last year, but the year before that.
Yeah.
Atlanta. So that's Trae Young. Who is the other star on that team?
Did he
what am I thinking about? Murray made the All-Star team, not last year, but the year before last. Murray made the All-Star team. Miami. So that's buckets. Bam. I think Tyler Hero made the All-Star team too, didn't he?
I think he was wasn't he in the three?
No, I don't think so.
I thought he made the All-Star team. Okay, so that's buckets and Bam.
Yeah.
Bam and buckets. Minnesota. Rudy Gobert, has he made the All-Star team in the last 3 years?
Defensive Player of the Year, though. 3 years.
He was the Defensive Player of the Year. That's true. Has Cat made the All-Star? I think Cat made the All-Star team last year.
Yep.
Let's see. And Anthony Edwards, he made the All-Star team last year. And in Dallas with both Luka and Irv.
Yeah.
So when you think about the rest of these teams, when you think about the rest of these teams, they don't have multiple stars. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 15. So Tony, we're talking probably 30 guys.
Half the league.
Maybe talking about 35 guys, 35 guys at the least.
That are
right?
stars.
So that are stars. And it's interesting that with these teams, these are if you notice, Charlotte isn't on here, Detroit isn't on here. Who else? Toronto isn't on here.
Well, that's so should be. Well, you said with multiple stars because I say Siakam.
Yes.
Okay.
Orlando.
Right.
So they can sit. So they can sit Siakam however much they want because he's the only one who made an All NBA team in the last 3 years.
Whenever they want.
So there's my point. So you brought up. So there's 30 guys, and some of them are going to be exempt. So this affects 20 people. Yeah. So it sounds like a good thing, but it's not really changing much. I don't think it's changing.
But it is though, Tone, and the reason why it is because if you think about who's on TV, like I just said, the Golden State Warriors got the most games.
I understand.
The Golden State Warriors got the most games on national television. Who's got the second most games on national television this year? Your purple and gold, Tone.
It should be.
Yes. Your purple.
No,
your purple,
they were 3 years ago when Russ and LeBron and AD had their little trio going. It was the worst garbage I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. So they got this. They got the second most games. That means that guys like Anthony Davis, who he played tonight, he plays tonight in, I don't know, they in Dallas tonight, and then they play tomorrow night in Houston. There's no reason why he should be sitting if he's healthy. No reason. Because he played last night. He rolled his ankle, but he still played, but we're going to sit him tomorrow night. No, that's not happening.
7 p.m. For people in the chat asking, football starts at whatever time football starts.
8:30, I'm sorry, 8:30.
We are starting at 7 p.m., taking you right up to kickoff with some basketball talk and some football talk and more.
So how do you two think the new rule will impact the whole Damian Lillard situation? Because right now, as of what we've heard, if he's not being traded to Miami, then he's not showing up to training camp or games. So is this going to be something that would force that to happen? You can't just sit out.
Can I tell you what I want to happen?
Yeah.
You don't want to go to anywhere but Miami? Cool. Go to Shanghai because you're not playing in the NBA anymore. And since you're refusing, you're not getting paid. F you. F you that you are trying to say I'm only playing for one team. F you.
To be honest with you, H, I don't hate that. And you know why I don't hate that? There's a reason why in the NBA, and Tone is a businessman, he can appreciate this. There's a reason why we have contracts. We have contracts because you made a commitment.
How much is he supposed to make?
How much?
Oh, man.
How much is Dame supposed to make next year?
Okay, so this season coming out, I think this season he's on the book. He's got 4 more years left on his deal. I think he's 47, 52, 58, 62.
Okay, so I don't mean to interrupt, but let me ask you both the question. Is there any company Is there any company in your countries? I'm not saying, hey, we're going to ship you off to Siberia. Is there any company that said, hey, we're transferring you to for $50 million a year? You're saying, nah, I'm not working there.
You're going.
But then you might as well just stay. That's the thing. I think he would choose staying. But you can't just have
we don't want you anymore.
Yeah.
That's not an option. We don't want you. Then that's why I think the whole thing is, I'm all for player empowerment, but you have a contract with the Portland Trail Blazers. They have the ability in that contract to trade you. You didn't get a no trade clause. They have the ability to trade you to any other NBA team. You are not an employee of the NBA. You are an employee of the Portland Trail Blazers.
Which means that whatever you do,
I am transferring you. So here's how it works. I work for Microsoft.
Right.
I'm in their Seattle office, and they're paying me whatever. I have a contract with them for 5 years to work for them for the next 5 years. They tell me, hey, we really got to transfer you to the Denver office.
Mm-hmm.
Your options are, so Microsoft being the NBA, the Seattle office being the Portland Trailblazers. I guess I could have used Portland being the. I just want to say Seattle. Seattle being the Trailblazers.
Right.
We're moving you to Denver. Here are your options. You either go to Denver with a smile on your face, or you don't work for Microsoft anymore. That's it. So, and that means you don't get that paycheck anymore either. So Portland wants to trade you to Utah, then you go to Utah, or you don't play in the NBA anymore. I'm sorry. That's how it is.
Even if you've worked there for 25 years and been the best employee that they've ever had, do you not show them a little bit of?
I don't care.
Yeah.
No, Tone, you have to. That has to be some consideration in that, Tone. You can't just ship me to Salt Lake City when I've been working there for 22 years and I've been the best employee that you've had, Tone. And I've honored every contract that I've signed with you.
They didn't try to send him to Miami? You think they didn't try?
They try to send him? Well,
they tried.
Here's the difference. They did try, but again, this doesn't just have to work out for you. This has to work out for me too. This isn't just about you, because even though you are a valued employee or been the best employee that I've ever had, I am losing you, and I need to get some value for you. I can't just ship you off just because you don't want to work here anymore. And again, we do have a contract.
If you don't want to work here anymore, I can ship you off. Absolutely. That's in my right.
That is in your right to ship you off.
Yeah.
In my right.
Even at the time
you came out, you say a good employee for 25 years. It hasn't been 25 years.
But the thing is, the people buying your product.
That was just the number that I threw.
Think about the fans in Portland. Like they want to see Dame. Like, you don't want to disappoint your entire fan base. I know they'll forget about it. And
he said he didn't want to be there anymore. He said, I want to leave. Yeah. So that changes the dynamic. Once he came public and said, I don't want to be here.
Right. So does that mean that now, because we do have a contract, and I've honored every other contract that I've signed with you, and now we're breaking up. So now you want to treat me like I am now the employee. I've always been the employee, but now I'm the employee.
Let me ask you, Jay. You're a little bit older. You've probably been, no offense, Hailey, you've probably been through this, okay? Not you probably haven't, but for the regular Joe, they probably have. So your girl's at your house, and she says, you know what? I don't want to date you no more.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find her a safe landing spot, or do you send her off on her Uber?
Well,
even though she's been with you for the last 10 years, she now tells you, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Do you find her the next man and say, here you go. Here's someone who's bigger, taller, stronger, and makes more money than me? Or do you say, see ya, get in that Uber and get out of here?
I think that's a little bit different, Tone, because we're talking about that. I don't think it's a little bit different because, I mean, that's personal. Like, we slept in the same bed. We've done different things. I work here.
Exactly.
You know, and because I work here and I leave the job where it is, but I have developed a relationship with you. I have developed a relationship with you on some level.
Now I want out.
And you want out. Now, I'm not, again, we've had a lot of years together.
Absolutely.
I can't just open up the door and go, all right, get out, beat it. No, I can't just do that.
But Jay, if she comes to you and she's like, I'm done, I don't want you, I want somebody else, and I want that guy right there, that's not gonna
that's the other part. Not only that, I'm leaving you, I'm done with you, and I want Bob. I want Bob. And you're the one that has to make that happen. You got to make that happen.
Okay, I am going to make that happen, but Bob's got to give me something that's going to make this worth my while, because I'm not just throwing her away. Because again,
I know she wants me now. I know she wants me, so I'm giving you nothing.
Then guess what I'm not doing? I ain't giving her the Bob. Nope. I'm not giving her the Bob. I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not giving her the Bob. No.
Work out. You'd make the changes, fix things. Portland, I think, is too far gone for that. But all right, enough of the Dame talk, because honestly, it's
I'm
gross.
done.
It's gross. We'll do a few of these super chats, and then we will jump into.
I like super chats. We got super chats.
Starting off with Aramis.
Hey,
honestly, we haven't seen you in a minute, so thank you so much for the super chat. Ingram and Zion, for me, going to be top 3 duos this year. It's going to be a healthy year for us. I love the hopefulness, and I hope so. But hard to say.
So I'm on record. I think Zion gives me 60 games this year.
Oof.
I'm on record saying he gives you 60 games for another team.
I don't think they move him. I don't. I think he gives me 60 games.
Sorry, Aramis. I think he's out.
I think he gives him 60 games this year. Now, I will tell you this. I wouldn't be surprised if he gave them 45 games and he's healthy and New Orleans goes, all right, let's move him. Because this is probably
the top of that.
This is probably the best that we're going to get at this point. So let's get off of him now. But what if this thing is working, though? There's a difference, Tone. If his value is high and we could probably get those first-round picks back for him. But what if we are rolling? Like, let's say New Orleans is a number 2 seed with him in the lineup. Are we really moving off of him?
You got a tough decision to make, depending on the offer.
Are we really moving off of him?
Depending on the offer.
If things are, I mean, that's such a hard predicament, because yes, you want to trade him at the top, like when he's healthy, because
all right, check it out. Minnesota's insane, and they call you up and they're like, "Yo, I'm gonna give you Ant and Cat."
No way. It would not be Ant. They're not letting Ant go. That's not realistic. It would be Cat and maybe some role players. Let's be honest, Fluent. They're not letting.
My point is, that's why I say it depends on the offer, because when people say people aren't tradable, and I always rebut it with everybody's tradable. And I'm just saying, you never know. Minnesota's crazy. Minnesota's nuts. They might just want to blow it up and say, hey, give us 4 first-round draft picks for Ant and Cat, because maybe Ant goes back. Maybe Ant goes back from the Olympics and says, these guys are a bunch of bums I'm playing with. I want out of this friggin' cold-ass Mall of America loving damn place. You never know. You never know.
What do you guys think about this? I hadn't heard about this, but not resigning affect your decision with Zion. Do you think maybe BI could be on the hunt for something new?
Maybe they both on. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We've seen again at some point GMs are going to get smart and they're going to stop letting people walk out the door for nothing. Yeah.
You shouldn't anyway, Tom. How you just letting people walk out the front door?
Because
even though addition by subtraction is a real thing, and it's a good thing, I am not letting Kyrie Irving walk out the front door in Boston. I'm getting something for him.
But the problem is the GMs have massive egos, and they think, "Hey, I can convince him. I'm a closer. I don't. You're watching Suits. I win. I'm here. You're here." If you watch Suits, you know that. Harvey Specter's my dude.
Yes, I love Harvey Specter.
Have that ego where like I'm going to win. I'm going to convince him to stay. Mm-hmm. Right? Like Masai Ujiri is an example of. Now there's better ones, but that's recent in my mind where he's like, we're going to get Kawhi here. He didn't want to be there, just like Dame. Kawhi didn't want to go to Toronto. He went to Toronto. They won a chip. They wined him. They dined him. They this. They that. He's like, yo, we got this dude.
I make the claim all the time, Tom. Cleveland should have traded James in 2010. They should have traded him.
They did. It was a sign and trade.
Okay, first of all, that was because of him. that was because of him. He could have just walked out the front door and told them bye. He didn't do that.
Technically.
They should have traded him. And what do you think they could have got for him if they would have moved him at that time?
At the trade deadline?
At the trade deadline, what do you think they could have got for James?
I'll tell you right now. They should have traded him. I want to say it was November 17th, November 19th, somewhere around there. He came out and said at the end of a game, at a post game, he said, next year, I'm switching my number to the number 6 because no one should wear the number 23. Jerry West is the logo, and out of respect for Michael Jordan, no one should wear the number 23. On that day, I swear to you, I said, that dude's not going to be in Cleveland anymore. He's going to Chicago or Miami, because those are the two teams that had the number 23 retired. And everyone's like, you crazy Tone, you crazy Tone. I said, I'm telling you, like, you could see the frustration. He's out. Where does he go? He goes to, so at that day, I would have traded him, and he could have got anything the heck they wanted.
Whatever y'all want. Call up whoever you want. Actually, you ain't got to call up nobody. Just put it out there. He's on the block. Yeah. The phone would have been ringing off the hook.
LA would have traded Kobe and their next 5 first-round picks. Like they could have given up.
They would have gotten whatever they wanted. They would have gotten whatever they wanted for him. No question about that.
And then I would have been a James fan, because he would have gone to the Lakers the right way.
I just don't know. I don't know exactly what. I'm telling you, man. My goodness.
Hold on.
I don't know.
I did not just make that up. Go look it up. The date is it's the 17th, the 19th, the 21st. I don't remember what day.
Right. I don't know exactly what Brandon Ingram's value is right now. Is he a top 20 player in the NBA?
Who?
I don't think so. Brandon Ingram. Is he a top 20 player in the NBA?
No, he's not.
Sadly.
Is he a top 25 player in the NBA?
Yeah.
I think he's a max player. I will tell you that. Still young. I think he's 27.
He's a conversation.
He is a top 20 player when he's healthy, but he's never healthy. So no, I can't give it to him. But top 25.
So I'm thinking top 25. Definitely top 30. 100%. I don't think there's 30 guys in the NBA better than him. Top 25, we can have a conversation. I don't think he's a top 20 player. But with that being said, him not signing an extension, this is the logic of why you do not let guys walk out the front door. When a guy says that he's not signing an extension, you find out what his value is, and you check the temperature of other teams.
Sure.
Because come trade deadline, this guy has already made it clear what his intentions are. He could walk right out the front door. And a team like New Orleans, who could lose him for nothing, that's really difficult to recover from, because you don't really know what you're getting from Zion. I think Zion's going to play 60 games. I don't know if he's going to play 60 games. He might break down again. And if he breaks down again and Brandon Ingram walks out the front door for nothing, you as the GM, you are fired.
But it's one of those scenarios where you can't really – there's no right or wrong. It's just kind of luck. Like, how does this thing play out? So I don't think we can – I think after this season, if everything happens the same way, then it's like, all right, we've gone through this enough. It's time to blow things up, switch things up. But it's Zion. Like, do you just let that walk out the front door?
No.
I think you wait a little bit longer.
Walk out the front door.
I think you wait, because if he's healthy, it could work. So, all right. So we have the super chat. Hunter, 3,200. H, how you feel about CP3 likely being a starter? I won't get too deep into it, but like I've said before,
H, please get too deep into it. Please do that. Get deep into it, because I'm really interested on how you feel about CP3 being on the first unit. How do you feel about this?
Not surprised. Like I've said, I think it's more so to kind of respect his past and stroke his ego a little bit. And I understand that. Like, are you going to bring in Kyrie Irving and bench him, even though he's been somewhat of a disappointment over the last few seasons? But do I think it's the best thing? No, I think where I see Chris Paul fitting in is in that second unit. They need his leadership. They need him to kind of help guide JK and these younger dudes, Moses Moody. And so, yeah, I think it's more for look's sake. But I don't think, let's just say this, I don't think he'll stay there, right? Because are you really going to bench? Like, then you have to say, well, who's going to the bench? Is it Kevon Looney? Because then our starting lineup, we got Dre, we got Wiggs, but at the same time, like, Looney is such a integral part of that starting lineup. It works. It's the system. And I'm disappointed. And honestly, Jay,
I think Wiggs goes to the bench, H. CP at the 1.
No way.
Yeah, CP at the 1.
Yeah.
Curry at the 2.
But we don't play rules like that, Jay. Remember,
so CP, Curry, Clay, Dre, Looney. Wiggs got to go to the bench.
That's a horrible lineup.
That is
Wiggs got to go to the bench.
That is insanity. But I'll say this: I think it'll be for the first few weeks, and that's okay, right? Things are starting off slow. Let Chris Paul get the nerves out. Everybody's gonna be like, Warrior fans don't like Chris Paul for the most part, so it's gonna be a little awkward. Let him have that, but at the same time, no, you're not benching Wiggins. I'm sorry, that is absolute insanity if you choose to do that. And honestly, the new GM, Not sure how I feel about him so far. I'm trying to trust him. Hopefully Chris Paul is gone by the trade deadline and we get a big, but that's just my biggest hopes.
Chris Paul is like a family member that hates, don't really want at the house, but he gotta stay here. So she can't really get rid of him fast enough. But he's family, so he gotta stay here.
You can have that room.
You said that sounds.
But the minute he's going, he is gone. Get him out of here.
Exactly like game night at the Fluent household, because when people are over, I'm like, it's that time. Get out. You do it. CP3, it's trade deadline.
Yeah, it's been nice.
I look at CP3 like I look at Jimmy G when he was with the 49ers. CP3 is going to break down. That's going to happen at some point during the season. So it's not like he's going to play 70, 75 games and be a starter and averaging 20 to 25 minutes. No, he's going to get hurt.
Yeah. It's
just gotten worse over the years. And the same thing is going to happen. Same thing is going to happen this season where he's going to break down. The question is how integral, how are you guys going to use him to the point where, okay, we really need this guy. If we need him that much and we relying on him that much, that's a problem. Because if you got a 38-year, I think he's going to be 39 during the season.
He's 107. What you're going to see is he's going to come in. He's going to play the first 5 minutes. He's going to be the first sub off. He'll come in and play like I'm telling you, 5 minutes in the second quarter. He's going to play 5 minutes in the third quarter, and then maybe the last 5-6 minutes of the fourth. I see him being like a 17 to 21 minute a game spot player. He might start for his ego, which is like the size of a dwarf planet. That'd be Pluto.
Oh, that's a rotation guy. 17, 15, and 20 minutes. That's a rotation guy. That is not a starter.
He's a glorified rotation guy.
He is a rotation guy who's going to be allowed to start because of his ego. That's it. 100%. That's it.
Why are we accommodating this dude on the Warriors? It's not like he going to Washington or one of the bad teams in the league like Charlotte. Okay. He's on this team, and we need to sell tickets. This is the Warriors. They just won the NBA championship 2 years ago. They won the playoffs last year. Why do we need to compensate? Why do we need to bend over backwards for this guy? We don't have to do that.
I don't know, but I can't stop looking at myself in the camera. My hair looks fantastic.
Ooh, okay. Everybody W Fluent in the chat, you guys.
Hold on. It's cool to feel yourself every once in a while.
We'll pause.
Don't forget, La Vida Loca. Don't forget. This dude is living La Vida Loca. So, Tone is that dude that if you go out, I'm going out with Tone because Tone is attracting him. Mm-hmm. He is.
There we go. Yeah, so we'll get into that more as the season.
Speaking of going out, I do got to give a shout out. I got to give a shout out to the original Big Three because I know that these guys watch the show now. But I went out for some drinks and some wings. And you know how tall I am, Chill. We stood next to each other, so you can appreciate how tall these dudes are. With the original Big Three, me and my boy Chris and Stu. Shout out to Chris and Stu. I always tell people when I used to go out, I was the short. I'm 6'3", 250, and I'm the smallest dude in the crew. So shout out to Chris and Stu. Stu is at UCLA. He is the strength and conditioning coach for the UCLA girl Bruins, the basketball team. So shout out.
Yeah,
we had a good time. It was a good time catching up. So I shout them out.
Dope.
Yeah. All right, last super chat, and then we will move on to the next topic.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Yeah, Nevrop4202. Who do y'all have winning the World Series? You guys let me know. I haven't been keeping up. Is it going to be Houston again? How's Houston this season?
Right now, Atlanta, the Braves have the best record. But if I have a fandom for baseball, which it's very low, I'm a Dodgers guy. And the Dodgers are pretty good. I think I think they might be second best record in MLB, maybe third.
They got the best record in NL West, 100%.
Oh yeah, and NL, yeah, for sure. In NL West, Atlanta the best in the majors. So I'm gonna go with my Dodgers. That's fandom. But Atlanta with I think already won over 90 games, and I think the Orioles come out of the American League. So I think you're going to see Orioles against maybe Braves or Dodgers. But I'm picking the Dodgers.
As long as I don't have to watch the New York Yankees win the World Series or watch the New York Yankees win the World Series, I'm straight. I don't care who wins.
All right,
I'm a Mets fan.
Let's be clear. Who do we have winning the National American Series? That's who it is because it ain't no World Series.
There we go.
You only have one team outside of the U.S., dude. That's not a World Championship.
Hey, we apparently have to make that clear because
We do, because some people don't know.
Exactly. Speaking of, we have to dive into this because I'm seeing it everywhere. This I don't have it, so I'm just gonna put it up to my screen and hopefully you guys can see. But this is essentially the ideal Team USA starters, according to ESPN, and what kind of I guess started this whole conversation. Of course,
I was going to show that exact same thing.
Oh, there we go, twins. Yeah. So we know the day that the FIBA USA team crashed and burned before our eyes and made Trey Lyles famous for another day of his life. LeBron picks up the phone.
Noah Lyles.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I can't.
Who's Trey? Is that an NBA player?
I don't know who Trey. Oh yeah, Trey Lyles. Yeah, he's from Canada. See that dude? See that dude right here? See that dude right here? Yep. Right. I don't know if you can see my finger. This dude right here. His name's Joel Embiid. Yes, he ain't American. Is that how bad Team USA has gotten that you let Dylan Dynasty?
A message from the government of Canada.
Have you to recruit a dude that isn't even American to your team to beat Dylan Dynasty? Come on, man.
We got to do whatever we can do.
Just so you know, Olajuwon played on the '96 Olympic team.
And I complained about that too. And I complained.
I just want to put that out there. Olajuwon played on the '96 Olympic team.
I shouldn't even say if. I shouldn't say if. America, the United States of America, has the greatest basketball players in the world, period. No discussion. The most skilled, the most talented, the most athletic, period. No discussion. No discussion. And you need a player from another country? That'd be like Team Canada in hockey going out and getting a player from Russia to say, oh, yeah, we need to try and better our team. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Joel Embiid, he is from Cameroon. He's from Africa. Okay, sure. But he did grow up here in the States.
I don't give a damn.
Well, Giannis spent since he was 17. Right. A lot of them have, but I don't think. But what I want to say first is so
hold on. So Luka came over when he was 19. So in 5-6 years when he becomes American citizen, Luka should be playing for Team USA.
I think he's always going to play for Slovenia.
Yeah.
But I think that's long, man.
That's a tone, man. That's just Patrick Ewing is from Jamaica. So I mean, what are we talking about?
That's right. He shouldn't be playing for them either.
So essentially, LeBron picks up the phone and he's like, yo, this is a problem. Sign me up for the Olympics. And I'm bringing my boy Steph Curry. I'm bringing my boy KD. Essentially, we're forming as somebody said, the Lavengers.
The Lavengers. Do you know? Can I just read through it? So yes, I know you see the picture. So Steph, Booker, James, Durant, Embiid. But I also got more for you. I got who they want as on their bench.
Yep.
They want Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Kawhi Leonard, Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, Mikal Bridges, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, and Evan Mobley. So those are the 17 that they want to choose from.
So essentially, really quick, I have a question, and then I want to kind of break down each of this. So we'll start with the starters and go from there because some people like Devin Booker. Should he be there? Should we, so we'll go through that. But the main question I want to ask is, we've already talked about that bigs are hard to come by, American bigs, and no disrespect to Bam, but we have to plan this out as if Joel Embiid is not going to be playing for the USA. I think we just have to start there. And also, like, where do we break this down? Like, who do we have in our lineups that's an American big? And, it seems to be a problem that we keep bringing up. So let's kind of start with the starters. And imagine Joel is not playing for the USA. Who do we feel that?
So so Embiid is not playing for the USA. No. So I think Anthony Davis is one of the guys that I'm feeling at the 5 spot. And okay. I'm not giving up this kid Walker Kessler. I want Walker Kessler on the unit. I think he should be on the Olympic team. Him, Anthony Davis, and Mobley. Those are our 3 bigs. Jaren Jackson can come. Jaren Jackson should come off, or Bam, or Bam. Yeah, or Walker Kessler, Bam.
Wow.
I do want Evan Mobley on the crew. I want Anthony Davis on the crew.
Jersey?
Who?
Isn't Bam from Jersey? You just
went to the finals and we're just
sweeping out your homeboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so those are kind of who you have up there. Fluent. Anyone else you to add to that list, or I mean, it's limited. So
the problem with American basketball, NBA specifically, right?
Yeah.
Let me just put this out there. The NBA plays one set of rules. The rest of the entire freaking world plays by FIBA rules. And because of that, I can't think of a skilled inside presence. Who is there? Who is there? Can you think of
A
one?
skilled inside presence?
Yeah, from the US.
From the US.
Anthony Davis.
Let's be honest though, if you're the Lakers, are you letting him play in the Olympics?
No.
He can barely last an NBA season.
But will LeBron kind of drag him along?
His games have gone up since the 1920 season. So his games have gone up. He looks like he's in the best shape that I've ever seen him.
But when he doesn't have a lot of rest in the offseason, he gets very wonky in the regular season. No,
he does. That is true. He gets a little weebly wobbly. Sure.
Yeah. I would just if I'm Lakers brass, ain't no way I'm letting him play. Now, maybe I have no say, but do they really need Anthony Davis to win gold?
He was on the Olympic team in 2012.
But now at this
and how many games did he play in 2013?
How many games did he play in 2013? That was his rook season. Yeah, that was his rook year in 2012, 2013.
How many games did he play?
I think he played 67 or 68 games. So 5 of the 6 years that he played in New Orleans, he played almost 70 games.
Yeah, no, in New Orleans he played. Yeah, we seem to think he played like 40, 50 games. But
no, he was playing plenty of games.
Tricking us, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
that's not an issue.
Let's look at the starting team. We'll throw. I mean, are we in agreement? We're going to put Anthony Davis as a starting big, or?
But no. Take the team as it is. Do you think? How old is Steph going to be next year? 36.
36 next summer.
You got LeBron's going to be 44. You got KD's going to be 37.
Damn. How old is James going to be next summer, Tom?
54.
Damn.
There we go.
Okay, so
brutal.
It's nuts. So basically what we did was we pulled a bunch of older dudes like Bird, who was basically on his last leg. We got to go get James, who's 38. We got to go get Steph Curry, who's 36. We got to go get KD, who's going to be 35. Let's see who else. Jimmy Butler, who's going to be 35 next year. So we got a bunch of older dudes.
Old dudes.
Wait.
We got a bunch of older dudes now.
Yeah.
And then you got who else was it? Booker? No, who else was in that starting lineup?
So we got
terrible shot.
KD, LeBron, Steph, question mark at the 5, and then a Booker, which we need to talk about.
What's wrong with Booker?
Terrible shot.
I don't have a problem with Booker. What I'm trying to figure out is why can't we develop a national team like they do in Germany, like they do in Slovenia, like they do in Greece? I know that there's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of commitment to other stuff, but
does America not have enough money?
They got plenty of bread. No, this is what I'm talking about, Tone. Like, there's a lot of money involved with these guys where the incentive isn't there in the off season because I got a wife, I got kids, I got other stuff going on in the off season, and I kind of want to stay focused on that. But I mean, throwing these crews together, it still works. I mean, the America has won the gold the last 4 straight. I mean, they've won it 4 straight times. That has happened. So because that has happened, it's hard to develop a national team. I understand it. It's just I just would like to see it.
Who won it? 5? It was Argentina.
Yes, in 2004, Argentina won it. And to be honest with you, I'm cool if America is going to win the gold medal every 5 Olympics. That's once every 20 years they lose it.
Well, that's only because you're lucky that like the continent of Africa doesn't say, hey, we're just going to have one team. You're lucky. Not you. The USA is very lucky that Yugoslavia fell apart. Because if you look, who would be playing? Because Yugoslavia was a team. People forget back in like the 90s Olympics and stuff.
That Yugoslavian team that won the gold medal in 88.
Yeah. Do you know who would be on that Yugoslavian team if Yugoslavia was still one place? Luka, the Bogdanovic guys, both of them.
Both of them.
Nikola Vucevic.
Vuce.
And Nikola Jokic.
And Joker on that crew.
He would be fire. I'm just saying.
If I'm not mistaken, I think in '88, that Olympic team that they had in Yugoslavia, they had Divac, they had Sabonis,
Yep.
They had Drazen Petrovic.
Yep.
I forgot who else they had.
Was Kook would have been around there? No, he was too young for that.
Kukoc showed up. Kukoc showed up later. But in '88, that Yugoslavian team, those are the three guys that they had. Denver smoked them, by the way, Tom. I just want to put that out there.
Don't do that, because then I'll tell you how Real Madrid beat the Lakers in 2010. But I'm just saying, there's luck. There's no reason why you shouldn't win, but the fact that you have to call up James and Curry and recruit Embiid, like that's
So embarrassing.
I just saw this, H. So I just saw this. So
guaranteed.
if I'm not mistaken, Tom,
guaranteed that team wins.
it is none.
It's on your
I'm having a
team,
difficult
Megan.
time seeing them lose, though. I am. I'm
Me
having a
too,
difficult
but
time seeing them
They're
lose.
not going to lose, but
So
Well, I don't know. LeBron's has 2 of them.
apparently with the US team, they are called the Avengers. So Curry is, if I'm not mistaken, Curry is Captain America. James is Curry is Captain America.
Yeah.
James is Iron Man. Let's see. Damian Lillard is Black Panther. Jason Tatum is what is it called? Winter Soldier. I don't even know who that is.
Oh, Winter Soldier. Yeah, I like Winter Soldier. Good.
Winter Soldier. Jimmy Butler is Black Widow.
Who's Black?
Jimmy Butler's Black Widow.
Jimmy Butler is Black Widow.
How you make
What's Booker?
Black Widow?
Let's see. Who else am I thinking about? Oh, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is Thanos.
Shouldn't Joel Embiid be Black Panther?
Yeah, Joel Embiid's Black Panther. Yeah.
Is Cameroon a third world country?
Uh,
No.
No?
I don't think so.
but he's from the good part. He's from Wakanda. That's why I'm telling you. That place is real. I know y'all lying. That place is real. I was going to say that you're going to play it up for the Olympics, so you know they're going to do it like that. They've already set the promos up. Marvel's already is going to pay the NBA millions of dollars. They're going to do that. They're going to pick each player is going to be one of the Avengers, and it's going to be the dream team, like how they did the dream team, the redeem team. This is going to be the Avengers or whatever. They'll come up with something better. The Amera Avengers. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Yeah. Oh yeah. The marketing's already in the works. Let's be honest.
So we're cool with this starting lineup. How about the second unit? Can you read those out again, Fluent? And then we'll see if we're good with it.
So Tone, first of all, it's only 12 spots. Tone counted up like 17 or 18 dudes. So who's actually going to make the crew?
That's just Twitter.
This is this is, they say these are the 5, so you know the starting 5.
Okay.
This is where they have to pick 7 out of these, I believe 12. So
Right.
Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Kawhi Leonard, Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, Mikal Bridges, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo. Oh, Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley might be your big. Evan Mobley might be
That's
your
what
big.
I said, Tone. I told you Evan Mobley. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Jaren Jackson Jr. We didn't even mention him. But
We didn't forget about him. We saw him play.
yeah, I was gonna say 2.5 points. Get out of here.
Yeah, there you go. He off the curve. So of those guys,
rules.
Yeah, Draymond.
So,
Draymond's
Tone,
gotta go on.
the guys that you just listed. So
not everybody.
So
Can
the
play.
guys that you just listed, Tone.
Yeah.
Of those guys who was on this team that we just had. So Anthony Edwards was on that team.
Yep.
Miles Bridges was on that team. Who are you interested in keeping that was on this crew, Tone? Putting on the Olympic team. Is there anybody that you're interested in keeping on this crew onto the Olympic team?
No.
So nobody.
No.
Not even Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards, bye. Miles Bridges, see you later. Brandon Ingram, goodbye.
Is it Miles
Jaren
or
Jackson?
Oh, Mikal.
It was Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I said Miles. I'm sorry. So Mikal Bridges. All of them. So everybody off that crew, goodbye.
The only one, maybe Halliburton, because there's going to be a lot of guys who want shots, and he is kind of that. I'll pass. I don't care. I'll just pass.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we got our guard, and if we keep Halliburton, we got him.
Because I'm down to replace Bridges with Jason Tatum. I'm down to do that.
Yeah.
Right. I'm down to replace. I'm going to keep Anthony Edwards. I want Anthony Edwards on the crew. I want to keep Anthony Edwards.
So I'm
down to replace
Halliburton, Edwards, Tatum,
and then
Mobley. You said Mobley because we need a big. So
hold on, Tom. Rewind. So just the guys on the crew. These are the guys that the guys that you just ran off. Halliburton.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards.
Yep.
Mikal Bridges.
No,
Those are the 3 guys.
You said he's out.
What?
Yeah, he's out.
But those are the three guys that was on the crew that lost.
Yes.
So of those three guys, Bridges, he's out because I want Jason Tatum on the crew.
Tatum. Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Who else did you say, Tone?
The guys you want back. So we only have 7 to pick from. So you want Halliburton, Edwards,
Halliburton, Anthony Edwards. Those are the 2 guys that I'm cool keeping.
Cool keeping.
I want to keep Walker Kessler too. I do. I really want to keep.
But we have to decide who's our starting big. Is that AD or is that?
No, we're keeping Joel. We're just going to keep Joel for now. We'll keep Joel for now.
Okay, so we're going to keep Joel for right now.
Okay, then I'm putting Bam on the second
spots. You have 3 spots. We haven't said Evan Mobley, who I thought you wanted.
I do want Evan Mobley on the crew. Absolutely, I want Evan Mobley on the crew.
You want Anthony Edwards.
I do want Anthony Edwards.
That's 6.
Drew Holiday. I'm sure we got enough.
I'm going to give you who's left. You have 1 spot. Now you could go rogue. You could go like Jalen Brunson. You could go rogue, but you have 1 spot for the people on the list. 1 spot. Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Kawhi Leonard, Donovan Mitchell. You have 1 spot.
Leonard said he wanted to play in 21 and he got hurt.
No.
Leonard said he wanted to play and he got hurt in 21. I don't know. I'm actually leaning toward Leonard because Europe has those European teams. One of the reasons why we got exposed because those big guards on Germany, those big guards in Lithuania, and those bigs down low, they exposed a lot of our weaknesses. Guys like Austin Reeves getting switched on to those big 6'6", 6'7" guards. That was a problem. I don't think that's going to happen with Kawhi Leonard. I don't.
Well,
Drew Holiday, I'm cool with him going. Jimmy Butler, we got enough older guys because we got enough older guys, so Jimmy Butler can go. Let's see. I'm kind of torn between Bam and Kawhi Leonard.
I mean, if healthy, it's easily Kawhi. If he's healthy, I'm taking Kawhi all day long. But it's just a matter of will the Clippers let him play? Will he even be able to play by next season?
He said he was playing in 21. H if he didn't get hurt. He said he was playing.
I know, but think about this. Like, what is this season even going to look like? His knees are, degenerating. We know that. I don't even think he can make it through a season. But if he is healthy, I'm taking Kawhi. I agree with that. Yeah.
And Bam, Evan Mobley, and Anthony Davis, we should be straight at the big spot with those 3 guys.
Yeah.
I think we should be straight with those 3 guys. I want to keep Walker Kessler, man. I want Walker Kessler on this crew.
Oh, he's not a top 30 player.
Yeah, I like him too, Jay, but maybe the next one.
From a young guy who's going to learn from these guys and how much better he's going to get. So, all right. So in 28, he needs to be on the crew.
Okay. Deal. Fluent, you like it? What do you feeling?
My only question is, you don't want Paolo Banchero? Or you want to send him back to Italy where he committed to and then pulled out at the last minute like a dick? Sorry. Beep.
Delayed.
I don't like what he's doing.
Again, next
Olympics. People that go against their word. I don't like that.
No. Next Olympics, yeah. I think he's young enough to wait it out. Yeah. Chat. Let us know if there's anybody we missed. We'll do a couple.
You know what the problem is. The real problem is, though. To your point, is that this time around, I don't think anyone really wanted to play because it's FIBA, it's not the Olympics, and they thought, hey, if we just throw like the most talented people that we can get to commit, just throw them on there and they'll go and win. And they got taught a very valuable lesson. You can't do that. And then the immediate knee-jerk reaction, right, is LeBron being like, okay, we're gonna get all our best players together because it worked in '92. Like they didn't get the best team. Like if you look at that team, the '92 Dream Team, like that was not actually a great team. It was just a bunch of like really solid, the best players, name recognition. But like you said, Bird had a broken back. Magic, I believe, had already at that point been diagnosed HIV positive. Jordan had just come off, a very long season, winning the championship, as did Pippen. All of those things. They just threw it. They didn't really look at team. And I think that's the mistake. Like I would look at this like who puts the team together? It's Steve Kerr's the coach.
It's Grant Hill now. It was Colangelo, but now it's Grant Hill.
So if I was Grant Hill, shout out to his wife Tamia. If I was Grant Hill, she's Canadian, that's why. I don't know if y'all knew
I
that.
did not know that, Tom. That's news.
Canada.
I did not know that she's from Canada.
So if I'm Grant Hill, I'm looking at a team and I'm saying, hey, I'm not necessarily going to just pick the best players. Let me get the guys that makes a team, right? Let me find a distributor and some shooters. And, what do we need? Okay, we need a couple of bills. This is the way that FIBA plays. Okay, so I need guys who aren't going to carry the ball and travel every freaking time. So, okay, sorry, LeBron's out. Just kidding. So it's just, that's the thing that I don't think. That's the thing I don't think.
Tomato.
I don't think that's what they do. I just sat through a 2-day course learning the FIBA rules for Canada basketball to be a certified coach here, and the rules are so different than what I see every single day in the NBA. So that's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? Maybe if they send those guys, it doesn't even matter if they play well together. I don't know.
Good point. Double P. Thank you for your super chat. My hot take looks great about no playoffs for Cincinnati and Buffalo. Bengals got dominated by my Browns, which I called, and the Bills lost to a Rodgers-less Jets. I do think Buffalo makes the playoffs now with Rodgers' injury, though.
So my prediction. So
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
So
it is, Tom. It is.
How does my prediction that the Jets won't make the playoffs? How does that look now?
It's looking pretty accurate, Tom, to be quite honest with you. It's not looking crazy. They got to handle Zach Wilson. They got to handle him, not with kid gloves, but they got to be very careful how they handle him, because this could be like it was last year, where it starts good and then they could just fall right off a cliff.
100%.
And he's one of those guys who can be one of the better game managers. I just don't really know I don't know what to do with Zach Wilson, except what was about to happen. That's really what he needed more than anything, H. He needed a guy like Aaron Rodgers, like Flacco, somebody like that to sit behind for the same thing that was going on with Trey Lance with the 49ers. He needed to have somebody to sit behind for a year, 2 years, to learn the game and learn how to be a pro, as opposed to he was the number 2 pick in the draft, so he's got to play right away. When in reality, this guy was so not ready. There's a difference between being not ready and so not ready. Like if if there was a minor league in pro football, that's where you send him right from the beginning. You take his draft rights and then you send him to AA in Memphis.
Yeah.
That's what you do with him, because he was not ready. Absolutely not. No, you send him to AA in upstate New York, and he gets as many reps as he possibly can, because he does not need to be on the football field immediately, especially when he came in. And now where we are, where he's seen Aaron Rodgers in training camp and he's learning the playbook. Well, now he's going to have to play. Tony, they're scrambling, talking about Phillip Rivers and not Tom Brady, Kaepernick, who hasn't played in NFL in 7 years. And then they took Kaepernick off the table. They said Kaepernick wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Like, they already said that.
Dude, how old is he now? Like,
he needs to let it go. Like, dude,
he does. What about
they already said that Kaepernick wasn't playing. So that's fine.
Your real estate license, you're done. You're not playing in the NFL. Let it go.
Now what they have to do is dumb down the offense and make it as simple as possible. I think Zach Wilson's smart, but I think that they got to make this thing as simple as possible for him, simply because they don't have a lot of wiggle room. Excuse me. They don't have a lot of wiggle room for him to make mistakes, because the mistakes he makes, they're so huge that that could wreck them.
I don't know. I think they need to put him into a position, and they have a very good running game. They have a very good running game with Hall and Cook. They have as you saw, an elite defense and clearly great special teams. Just rely on that. We've seen significantly worse quarterbacks than Zach Wilson take a team and win a Super Bowl based on an elite defense and strong running game. So it is your game manager. This is what we want you to do. Don't make mistakes. Look, we don't expect you to win the game. Don't lose us the game. Right? Like,
and that's what Zach Wilson will do.
Trent Dilfers, like we've seen these guys do it. That's what they have to do. I don't think they will, but that's what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Stephanie, when Curry and the Warriors were coming up, were y'all haters? I definitely was. LOL.
I was not, but only because when Dell played in Toronto, kind of, I liked, as a 3-point shooter, I liked his game. Steph played here at a junior high. I think he was in the 7th grade or something like that. And we got to see him warming up and whatever. So there was that connection. So once he got drafted, and then we saw him at Davidson, I became a fan. I think we all were like, who is this little dude on Davidson? Like we all, LeBron James going to check him out. We all kind of were like, who is this dude? So I didn't hate on the Warriors at all. I kind of liked it.
Then why are you hater now?
I don't hate the Warriors now. What are you talking
about? The most about Steph and the Warriors.
I let Fluent Jr. His favorite player in the world is Steph Curry, and his favorite team is the Warriors. I wouldn't allow that if I was a hater. How would I allow that?
You're kind of a hater, though. You do try to bring him down because you just don't like the disagreement with Magic being better, which you're just
not only that, Tone. Don't act like you wasn't kicking and screaming. Tone, don't act like you wasn't kicking and screaming when you had to buy him a Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, you threw up.
Don't act like you wasn't kicking and screaming when you did that, Tone.
I did not. No, I did not at all. I don't care. I'm not like that. But hold on, why would you say I'm a hater because I have Magic over Steph?
No. I just mean in general, the way you talk about Golden State is usually somewhat derogatory.
No, it's real. It's real. You just can't handle the truth because you're a fan.
Because this was supposed to be the Lakers era, and Steph absolutely put a.
Listen, let me tell you something.
You want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
That's not my fault.
No, I can handle it.
What exactly is the truth?
The truth.
Oh yeah, tell me. You tell me. How am I a hater? What have I said that's hateratish?
I'm not saying that. No, I'm just saying the way you speak about Steph and the Warriors, you rarely say a good thing about Golden State. You rarely say. I will go and make a little collage of all the things.
Yes,
that you
please do.
And we could listen for about 2.5 hours. Yeah.
And let's be clear. I've said Steph, the greatest shooter of all time.
That's it.
I don't think that's a bad thing, right?
But that's all you'll give him.
Oh, well, what else is he? He's the greatest shooter of all time. How much more do you want?
He's one of the greatest players in this era.
Okay, I put him as 2nd greatest point guard of all time, 3rd greatest shooting guard of all time, depending on how you want to rank him. How is that hating?
He's the greatest point guard of all time.
But he's not.
He is.
He's not. He's not.
That's fine. That's fine. I understand. When my kids tell me that somebody's greater than Steph,
here's the problem. You can't put Steph, if you're going to use the term point guard.
No, we're not doing this. That is what he is. That's what he's been through. We're not doing this. But I respect it. I respect it.
You said the Warriors weren't a dynasty. When did I say they weren't a dynasty? I said when they failed to make the playoffs, the dynasty was over. I said once they missed the playoffs, the dynasty was over. That's it. It's done. It's done. The dynasty ends. The second you don't make the playoffs, your dynasty is done. Even if you come back a couple of years later and win another one, when you miss the playoff, the dynasty's over. It's over. It's like, put it this way. You're married, you get a divorce. Even if you remarry that person, you haven't been married for 20 years. If you were divorced for 2, you start over.
You're separated. The contract was still in it.
No. I said divorced.
No, divorced. I said they were separated because it was 1 season.
You're divorced.
Oh, man. All right. Mello, thank you for your super chat. For Memphis with the small lineup, who guards Markkanen, Olynyk, and Kessler?
For Memphis with that small lineup.
Wait, why are we talking about them?
He's talking about Utah. That's what he's talking about.
But why?
He's talking about who guards Markkanen, Olynyk, and Kessler with Memphis with that small lineup. Well, what small lineup does Memphis have? Because with Jaren Jackson, Steven Adams, and who do they have at the 3? Well, Brandon Clark, I'm not sure if he's going to play this season because he tore his Achilles. And we had this discussion earlier, Tone. This is why I think Memphis is going to take a step back because number one, Ja's going to be out 25 games, so they're going to miss him. They still haven't shored up that small forward spot. They're going to miss Dillon Brooks. Everybody talks about Dillon Brooks being a so-so player or he's not very good. They're going to miss that 15 a game and the defender that he was, and they haven't shored that up. So, in terms of their front line, what are they going to do to figure that out? I'm interested in that. But I'll tell you what I'm not going to do, Mr. Williams. You're not going to suck me into this Utah logic. They tried to get me on the train last year. Utah is building something. Okay, they're building something. Stop talking to me like the Utah Jazz. They are on their way. But the train is way down the tracks. The train is not close to the station. You guys may be a play-in team, possibly. That's adding a lot. But of the teams in the Western Conference, you guys might be a play-in team. I'm telling you right now, Utah's going to jump out the gate and everybody's going to go, I told you, Utah. They did the same thing last year, and then they fell off a cliff. And you know why? Because they got a lot of holes, and they're a young crew. So you're not getting me on the hook with this Utah logic. No, I'm not doing that.
Why did he specifically say Memphis and Utah? Is this in the midseason tournament or something? Or why? Why is that matchup? Yeah, we do not care. Sorry, Mello, but good question.
We do not care.
Right, we got one more here, and then we have a little segment about Fluent. Okay, Double P. Last week, Fluent mentioned the NFL script, and I got the leak. Spoiler alert, the Ravens are winning the Super Bowl. Pains me, a Cleveland fan, and the Lakers win the finals. No, Dobbins is injured. That is my boy. I love him, and he's hurt.
He's always hurt.
I know, but I don't know about the Ravens.
He's hurt more than Zion. I don't think the Ravens didn't the Ravens squeak by Houston? No.
I'm telling you, Tone, Houston of all the bad teams, they're going to be the most competitive.
Cool.
I think they're going to lose games because they're young and they're still trying to figure it out with their quarterback. But they're going to be like what Detroit was. I think they're going to be like what Detroit was last year or the year before that, where I think they had 10 games where they lost, or eight games where they lost, like in the last 5 minutes. There was one possession games. I wouldn't be surprised if Houston was like that. That would not surprise me.
And Jay, what we've talked about and kind of been predicting, the Cleveland Browns. They look fantastic. What did you think about them?
Well, we've had this conversation, H, that Deshaun Watson this season, he's going to remind us of why he was a top 5 quarterback in the game, and that's going to happen. And if you're looking at what their front four, it looks like in Cleveland, they're going to be trouble. I'm talking about huge trouble. Myles Garrett looked like, if you're the quarterback coming out the huddle, he looked like Lawrence Taylor. Like, keep that dude away from me. Of all the people to keep away from me, keep that dude away from me. Their secondary might be a little on the shaky side, but I think their offense can make up for that. Is Cleveland the class of? And I'm not jumping off the bridge, Tone. I'm not doing that. I'm not. It was 1 week, and that's all I saw.
Exactly.
Is Cincinnati? Am I falling for the okie doke that Cincinnati is a fraud? No, I am not.
No.
They're not.
I'm not falling for the okie doke. No,
Cleveland.
Cincinnati is not a fraud.
Cleveland is going to Cleveland. Don't be fooled by Mr. Don't be
kind of like the Cowboys are going to be the Cowboys. Don't worry.
Yep.
It's happening.
I called my boy in Dallas, and he's like, "We got the parade route set. We ready."
Here we go.
Oh man!
Look. Hey, all Dallas did by beating the Giants 40-0 is move up the NFC East to they're the second best team in the NFC East.
There we go.
Congratulations to the Dallas.
Nothing we didn't know. But speaking of teams that suck, the Packers still.
Wow.
The Packers still have that magic when it comes to Chicago. So Jay, we weren't surprised by this, but somebody else on this panel was. So Fluent, are you doing okay? And are you set back at all?
Listen, Linda. Listen here, Linda.
Linda,
listen,
Linda.
Linda. It was one game. Okay, it was one game.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one game. That's all I'm gonna say. It was one game. Aaron Rodgers sold the rights because he owned the Bears. He transferred the rights of the Chicago Bears to Jordan Love. We don't appreciate that. And you know what? The Bears, the gods, showed Aaron Rodgers what he got for doing that. Okay, so he got what he deserved. As far as the Bears go, what's the thing that Damo always says? Damo, what's he always say? The double agent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty positive that Getsy is a double agent. He came over from the Packers, and he's a double agent. They need to Getsy him out of the Chicago area as quickly as possible. He needs to be gone, and they should get one of those double, those little motorcycles with the sidecar, and they should throw Chase Claypool's ass into that little sidecar and get them out of the city of Chicago as fast as possible. Because I have never seen a player on an NFL field work so hard to be so bad as I did with Chase. Like, I mean, he was trying to block. He's trying to block this mic like this. Oh, don't touch me.
No, that's not.
It was the worst display of football I've ever seen in my life. Congratulations. Now, let's also be clear. Mm-hmm. And you guys remember this. Who did I say should win the NFC North? Do you remember?
I think you said Green Bay.
Yeah, you said Packers.
And I said the Packers. And why did I say it? I said because they have the best running game in the division and the best defense in the division. And what did they do? They showed that. I'm never going to pick the Packers to beat the Bears. That's blasphemous.
Right.
But I'm also realistic enough to know that's actually the team I'm most worried about, because if Jordan Love even plays a little bit, and he played a lot of bit, they're going to be good because of that defense and that run game. I'm not sold on Detroit, even though I told you guys Detroit would win that game. I said it live. I told you Minnesota was going to suck. What did Minnesota do? They lost. What did they lose to?
What they did best.
They lost to.
Which I was so glad that I couldn't wait. By the way, I'm glad we're on this too, H, because I couldn't wait to see Tone, because I want to know what his thoughts are on butter. I want to know what his thoughts are on butter. Because he didn't look that bad against Minnesota.
He didn't look that bad. That's also because Minnesota's defense looks horrible. And it doesn't get any tougher. It doesn't get any tougher because the Bears defense looked horrible too. So I'm gonna pick the Bears to beat Tampa Bay, but man, Faker's got some light work because he gets to go up against Minnesota that has no defense, Chicago that has no defense. He's in the division with Carolina, who looks horrible, and with Atlanta. So you know what? Faker's gonna make some believers, but I'm not gonna fall for it, Butter. I'm not falling for it.
So Bucks.
Is Butter going to be a good quarterback? He is not.
No. Garbage. Trash. Get him out of here.
And yes, Tone. Oh yes. Okay. Go ahead. Two
things, Tone. I am an advocate of a guy who is a project to sit behind somebody and learn. That's the best thing that could have happened for Jordan Love. Because if Jordan Love would have went to a different crew and had to play early, I think he'd be out the league. I think he would. I think that if he ended up in Carolina, if he ended up in Atlanta, he'd probably be out the league.
If he was in San Francisco, he would have been Trey Lance.
That could very well be true.
Because I don't think he's a guy to learn from, right? Whereas Aaron Rodgers, for all his, all the jokes I throw at him, Aaron Rodgers is a multiple MVP who has maybe the best TD to interception ratio ever. That's a guy to learn some things from. Let me go back to the Bears for a second too, because as much as the defense stunk, you can't throw the ball to your best receiver, DJ Moore. They targeted him twice. They had no designed runs, none. Justin Fields.
Is Green Bay's defense that good, or they just didn't go to him?
Both. I think their defense is that good. Remember those years when Aaron Rodgers was saying, "Oh, now we got a defense." Actually, now you have a defense. He was wrong that now you have a defense. That year they went to the Super Bowl, they had a defense. But that being said,
he's gone.
I got to say this, and it's only 1 week. I'm not going to overreact, but I'm just going to say a 1 week reaction. I thought, and I know I said this tongue in cheek as a fan. Okay, so I'll give you what I said and then what I really thought. Okay. I said Justin Fields, right? Look at the jump that Jalen Hurts did the second he got AJ Brown, right? He looked like a guy everyone was calling him a running back, can't throw. He gets AJ Brown. All of a sudden, he's making good throws. When he's scrambling, sometimes he's throwing it out of bounds instead of taking a hit. He's making right decisions. And I said, hey, don't be surprised if you see that from Justin Fields. In my head, I was like, if I see half, Fields was here, where Hurts jumped was here, I could see. I need to see Fields be somewhere in the middle this year.
Right.
From one game, I don't think he's improved at all from last year, and that's
all. I was going to get to that, Tone, but I'm glad you brought it up because I'm looking at one of the things that I watch when I watch a quarterback more than anything. I watch how a quarterback goes through his progressions. Whether it's a 3-step drop, whether it's a 5-step drop, you don't really have a lot of time, but how they go through their progressions. Fields has not shown that he's actually understanding the offense. It kind of looked like Tony Romo early on in his career. Tony Romo, okay, that's the guy I'm throwing it to. So I'm looking over there right when I come into the huddle. I mean, right when I get over center, I'm looking right at that guy right there. I'm not looking anywhere else because I don't know where else I'm going. So when I see him scrambling, when I see him in his 3-step drop, he doesn't look like he's going through any of his progressions. If this guy isn't open, okay, I'm looking for him. He just scraps the play. Now, because he scraps the play, teams are going to be keying on that. Putting more guys on the front 4. It's going to be now the box gets stacked. Instead of it being 7 guys, it's now going to get stacked to 9 guys. Because why? Because you ain't throwing the ball. You're going to run the football. Because you're going to run the football, now you're more likely to get hurt. So I have not seen that improvement that I'd like to see, Tone. However, I have seen that improvement that I'd like to see from Jordan Love. He looks like he knows what he's doing. He looks like he's going through his progressions. He looks like a better play-action quarterback. And that's because he was able to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, get some reps, and understand what the offense is. Plus, that defense in Green Bay is a lot better. So I need to see, again, I'm not going to jump off the cliff, Tone, but I need to see Justin Fields. I'd like to see his progression I'd like to see his progressions recognition improve more. I'd like to see him pay attention more to the offense, more than he's just, okay, if this doesn't work, I'm gone. Kind of like Michael Vick used to do.
Fluent. So, I mean, about this question from Angie, Watson wasn't on the field Sunday.
No, he wasn't. But I think Romeo Doubs kind of stepped up and played well. I don't think they needed him. I don't think this offense is going to be really predicated. They got a lot of young receivers. I think this is going to be the Aaron Jones show, as you saw. Like they are going to be run, play action, run, and that's what they need to do. Get a young quarterback who's had the advantage of sitting and learning for a couple of years. Get him up to speed. I think they're in a. I hate to say it. I think they're in a great position. Those go right. They transition from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to look. I don't think Jordan Love is going to be on that level, but I think he's going to be a good quarterback. He's going to be a starting quarterback in this league. So, good for them. They took a chance. They pissed off Aaron Rodgers when they drafted him, but at the end of the day, I think it worked out.
So, how do you feel, Tone? Because you coming down to Tampa on Sunday. How you like going down to Tampa?
I'll put it this way: I guarantee the Bears will win on Sunday.
You know why he's doing that, H? You know why he's guaranteeing that against Tampa? For one reason and one reason only.
Tom Brady.
Baker Mayfield. That's why. No other reason. No other reason. There's no other reason he's guaranteeing a win in Tampa this weekend except for Baker Mayfield. He thinks Baker Mayfield is just going to be good. It's going to be straight garbage. He already think he's garbage anyway.
Yeah.
He already thinks he's garbage anyway.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't think. I know he's good. I know. Listen, no one can change my mind. You saw me. I sat up here with Hugh Jackson, who freaking coached him, and he said, no, he's good. I said, no, he is not.
You was not feeling that at all.
Jay, give me a little rundown on how you're feeling about Brock.
Brock Lesnar?
He looked like
no, not that Brock, Tone. We talking about the starting quarterback for the 49ers. That dude.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
Sam Darnold's understudy. Yeah.
So Tone, the exact thing that I saw that I was looking to see from Justin Fields, I actually saw that in Brock Purdy. I told you before the season started, and I'm not one of these I told you so guys, but I felt like before the season started that it was his job to lose. He was the best quarterback on the roster, and it showed when Trey Lance got beat out by Sam Darnold, who is, by the way, a turnover machine. He was a turnover machine with the Jets. He was a turnover machine in Carolina. He's going to be a turnover machine with the 49ers. Luckily for us, we already got a good quarterback, so we're not going to have to worry about him being that because he's not going to get on the field. So we're not going to worry about that with him. So when I'm watching Brock, do you really think Brock Purdy is him? I do. I think that
I have a feeling in like my soul, like this is he's special. I'm telling you, just his confidence, his poise, his IQ, even right now, Jay. Like, don't you think it's just something special about him?
Tone, the way that offense is set up, it's set up specifically for his game. If the mark of a great coach, Tone, is to amplify your strengths and go away from anything that you're not good at doing. If you notice, he puts Brock in situations where Brock can be successful. 3-step drop, quick hits. 5-step drop, 10 yards. And who's the guy that he's looking for? He's looking for his big target. And he's looking for his big target whether it's my tight end, or whether it's Ayuk. And we run the football with McCaffrey as much as possible. So I don't think Brock has to be Joe Montana. I don't think he has to be Tom Brady. But I think in a position that he in, where he goes through his progressions and he's got so many weapons on offense, that minimizes the chances for him to make mistakes. That's why I felt like him playing in the role that he was playing, not just as a quarterback, but him playing in the role that he was playing as the manager of the offense, I felt like it was his job to lose because I felt like he was the best at that. And I'm looking at his game, and I'm looking at his game, and I'm looking at Jimmy G, and I'm looking at Trey Lance, and I'm thinking he was right when he came in with the attitude that, yo, I'm the dude that you should have gave the ball from right from the beginning. I'm the guy. And that's what he looks like. Yeah. He looks exactly like that. C-Mac looks like what he looked like in Carolina, except we don't have to run him into the ground because we got a lot of we have a number of different options and a lot of different pieces that we don't have to give him the ball every time. That's why he got ran down when he was in Carolina, because he was on the field 90% of the time. That's not the case here.
This is definitely a good situation for him because he's not going to be that workhorse because he had to run the ball. He was their top receiver. Like he was everything.
Everything for them. He was everything for them.
Leaf, I'm putting the link in the chat if you want to come share what you need to share.
While we wait for that, do you have something else, or because I want to ask you guys a question?
No, go for it, Fluent. And then we'll probably transition into some NBA.
Tell me what you think of this. Is it a travel or no?
Oh, I'm so sick of this dude, Joe. I'm so sick of him.
Who is he?
I swear, Tone. I don't even know why you be entertaining that dude. And the reason why I don't understand why you be entertaining that dude is because the stuff that he does, that stuff is not going to be implemented. What he's doing is he's trying to manipulate the rules. That's all he's trying to do. He's trying to manipulate the rules, and in the process of manipulating the rules, making it look like it's illegal, but it's not. The question is are you going to do that in a game? No, because number one,
what he's trying to do is point out that there's some things in the game, some rules in the game that need to change because that's what's making the NBA for some unwatchable. I love the NBA, don't get me wrong, but I'm just for some unwatchable because what he just did, I know the people in the chat immediately said travel. No, it's not, because the rule is as long as your dribble is alive and you're not committing to stopping it, which is with two hands, if you're doing this and you're dribbling, you can take 1,000 steps in between and then stop. And that's actually a rule. And that is a problem. They need to address that. They can't have a rule that states as long as your dribble is alive, you can take as many steps as you want, because you will see guys like there's that play where LeBron gets the ball, takes one dribble from half, and then takes 14 steps, and then goes up and dunks it against the Raptors. And everyone's like,
true. That was altered. He never really.
It was real.
I don't remember seeing that. I don't.
I do remember seeing it. That's why I remember, because we were all screaming, "That's a travel!" But technically, if you're dribbling, if it's still in yet kind of one hand, and you're going, I'm stepping, you can't see it. That's technically allowed, which is dumb. And that's why I say technically, yes. I believe 99% of refs are going to call that what I just showed you a travel. I think 99% of the stuff that he shows, but I mean, there's NBA refs. He gets NBA refs to come on and say, yeah, by definition, that's legal. Right. You're going to get in a fight if you try it at a pickup game, but in the NBA, technically, it's legal.
Yo, what's good?
What's going on? I like to refer to Sundays as ass whooping Sundays, and what was it? What I call it? Chilltown, payback Mondays, because I already came into the season thinking to myself, all we need to do is change the defense. The Bears are who we thought they were. Every single time they do exactly what we expected. I'm sorry, Fluent, but I had to come on and say this, bro. And the next time we see the sorry ass Cowboys and the Niners, the same exact thing we're gonna happen to them too. I'm sick of it, bro. Like now that we got a defense.
It's crazy. Like, you know how it's crazy, H, when you you sorry when you own another team. So we sorry because we own the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah,
own them.
Sorry.
Yeah, we sorry.
We feel bad for you. It's sympathy.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's
You
cool.
let it out, air
Yeah.
it out. You know, we're
Yeah,
here.
it's cool that we
Listen,
own them.
look. Y'all sit at the
In
same
your own
table.
weather too.
Y'all sit at the same table with the Dallas Cowboys, man. We
No,
gonna listen.
we're
We gonna
nothing alike.
fix them too.
He's a
We
Packer
own
fan.
them
Yeah?
too.
I'm
We
assuming you're
gonna fix them
Yeah,
too.
Green Bay
We
Packers.
handle them
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
gonna fix them too. We gonna fix them too.
Can I
And
ask
we
you a
gonna be
question?
right back where we need to be, man. Listen,
I want to ask you a question. I think everybody, like the pundits, had the Packers being the second worst team next to the Bears in the NFC North. Your team, I picked them to win the division, so we're clear. Your team looks way better than most people thought. My question is this: why are you so mad? You should be happy.
I'm not mad.
You know why?
I'm not mad at all. I'm not mad at all.
He's a conventional New Yorker. He's a conventional New Yorker.
How are you a New Yorker?
He's the conventional New Yorker with the brass. And he hates the Giants. He hates the Jets. That's who he is, which is cool. You know, I'm not a Giants fan. I'm from Jersey, and I don't watch.
Y'all gonna let Chilltown talk y'all into a corner. That's not what it is at all. I'm talking shit just cause. I already know what's gonna happen now because now that we done switched up the defense, I already know what we capable of. So
you know why,
is this a bully or for you guys leave? Is that
what
you're telling us?
You know why he's talking shit?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
That's why. It really is, yo.
That's what it is. That's what it is, Chilltown. All right.
This is what I'm not gonna do, right? I'm not gonna jump out the window. My 49ers, we looked good on Sunday against Pittsburgh, who had arguably the best defensive player and the best pass rusher, the best defensive player and the best pass rusher in the league, and we basically split them dudes in half, right? But I'm not gonna jump out the window on them. It's week one. It's week one, so I'm interested to see how this thing progresses. The Green Bay Packers, could they be the best team in that division? I think the NFC North is a crapshoot. I think the NFC North, at the end of the day, is a crapshoot. I think that Jordan Love is going to prove a lot of people wrong. I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong in terms of a quarterback. I still think Jared Goff is the best quarterback in that division. I think that Detroit is the team to beat in that division. I think Detroit is the interception by Justin Fields.
Listen, I tell you one thing before I leave. Listen, Detroit, I think they take a lot of chances, but the thing is, they're gonna end up burning their own self because they took chances last year. But remember, after the second half of the season, and they was taking chances, and then it finally caught up to them. The bottom line is, as far as the NFC goes, everybody just believes in their mind that another stacked 49ers team is just gonna be just gonna be the class of it all. I personally don't think so, man. Because y'all had way better teams than this. What better teams did we have?
So what team can you remember that we had that was better than this team?
I remember y'all having the best front seven in football with Navarro, Willis, the Smith, Alden, and Justin Smith. That team didn't give up nothing.
And just so you know, Lee, we went to the bowl game with that team.
Yeah, y'all did go to one bowl game with that team. One.
And to the NFC Championship against the best defense at that time, arguably in NFL history. That's what we lost to.
Hey, exactly. I give y'all credit for that. That was.
And on top of that, the team that we have now, this is the same crew that was just in the NFC Championship last year.
NFC Championship game last year.
And our quarterback got hurt in the first series in the game.
Right.
He got hurt. Right. So if he doesn't get hurt, you might be looking at us in the bowl game again.
Yeah. In the bowl game again. Yes. Yeah. Listen, but here's the problem. The Niners the Niners got all of this stuff going for them roster wise, and then they get all the way, and then they do all this high achieving, this high climbing, and then they fall off the ladder somehow, some way. The thing is, the reality is, I fall off the ladder
Do you remember last season in the NFC Championship? We were showing the playbook as a quarterback to CMC, who just got traded to the 49ers. That's where we were.
You know why y'all were showing the quarterback? Because Kyle Shanahan is the Mike D'Antoni of the NFL. If you don't know, go ask the. If you don't know, go ask the Falcons.
No quarterbacks. That's why, because both of our quarterbacks got hurt. It wasn't just that we could just interchange guys.
I understand that, Chilltown, but listen to me. Kyle Shanahan is going to sell y'all down the river just like he did the Falcons. Just you don't got to take my word for it. Just go ask the Falcons. Just go ask them what happened. 28, they up 28-3, and Kyle Shanahan want to make Matty Ice or Julio Jones the MVP for some reason instead of run the ball. The problem is like what came down to the line that last year was y'all quarterback. Y'all didn't have nothing go down the stretch, obviously. But what's going to sell y'all down the river this year? It's going to be Kyle Shanahan. Trust me.
Now you're more fluent.
All right, we'll see about that.
Definitely. So them sorry ass Niners and them sorry ass Cowboys, they up next. The next time we see them, we stomping a mud hole in their monkey asses. That's it.
Oh my God.
Enjoy. It's nice seeing you, brother. Take
Oh
care.
my God.
Yeah, y'all too, man. Salute.
Take care, brother.
Thanks, Steve. Have a good night.
Hey, yo, I see Dub.
I'm sorry, that's so funny, boy.
Dub in the chat. Shout out to Dub watching Fluent and Chill from his cruise ship. Bro, tell your Eagles to step it up. I got their defense on my fantasy team of record, and I need them to score some points.
Hi, Dub.
Hey, Dub, this is what I got to deal with this dude, yo. It was like 10 years ago. It was in 2016. That was that. Oh, my God. Good, I'm sorry.
Oh man, no, you're good. I mean, he's got to pull something so far long ago out of his pocket. That's all he's got to hold on to. But we appreciate Leaf.
Right.
Andrew Carr, chill thoughts on Harden exploit fouls in the NBA.
It was good for him. It was good. It was good for him during that time. He played in a wide open era. He played in an era where you couldn't put hands on people, and he exploited fouls, and it elevated his stats. But you notice how much he struggled when they were able to put hands on guys these last 2 seasons, and the whistle didn't blow as much. So he struggled a little bit more. Add that to the fact that he doesn't take care of his body, so he's starting to slow down. But during that time, I think it helped his game. And
did it help his
game? I think it helped the legend of James Harden.
Did we talk about this already? How he has more free throws made than field goals made?
That I did not know, Tom.
Did you not know that?
Free throws
I
made,
did not know that.
field goals.
So check this out. In the history of the NBA, only 2 players. I didn't know if we talked about it before. You know I love
Now you're more fluent.
making everybody more fluent. So James Harden for his career has more free throw attempts. Sorry, not more free throws. More free throws made than field goal attempts made.
That's crazy.
He has, so the number is field goals made 7,291.
Right.
Free throws made 7,357. Do you know who the only other player in NBA history is to have more free throws made than field goals made? Because there's only one other one.
More free throws made than field goals made. The only other player in NBA history. Malone? No? Okay.
What decade? Malone. What decade?
Already, you want clues?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not Malone.
I want to say, I'll double check, late 90s, early 2000s.
Late 90s, early 2000s. More free throws than field goals. Shaq? No.
No way.
That's a good one, Tom. Who's got more free throws than field goals?
Yeah, and I was right. Late came in the league in 98, left in 2010.
Came in the league in 98.
Is it somebody? Was it ever a star player? Or
No,
okay.
never a like a star player. No,
never a star player. I'm stumped. Let's see. In 98, we're talking. That was Vince Carter. Nope, that wasn't Vince Carter. Vince Carter in 98. That was Vince Carter.
I'll just give you some stuff. He's a 0-time All-Star. In 98, 99, he was on the All-Rookie team. That's about as much as you can get. Like not bad.
Track the trailer, maybe? No.
Average 16 points, 4 rebounds, just under 3 assists. Played on Houston, Orlando, Sacramento, and then ended his career in the Clippers.
Oh, what's that guy's name? Hayes, Chuck Hayes. No, it's not Chuck Hayes.
Oh, Angie Carr. I think she heard me say it before. Correct. No, Corey Maggette. No. Oh, wait. Is that right?
Corey Maggette?
It is Corey Maggette. I thought it was Coutinho Mobley. It is Corey Maggette.
Corey Maggette.
Okay.
I don't know why I was looking up Coutinho Mobley. I was thinking about Coutinho Mobley. I don't know why. Yeah, Corey Maggette.
Huh.
Did not know that.
There we go. Now we're more
I
fluent.
did not know that. That's news.
All right, part 2 from Angie, excluding fluent.
Angie cheated though because I think I thought we talked about it here, but I think we talked about it on Gridiron. So
Oh,
she cheated.
she knew. She's testing us. How y'all not home team fans? Well, for me, wait, I don't know about Jay because you're kind of all the way across the country, but for me, I have a lot of family in Arizona and California, so I've lived in both places. So
no, but where's home? What's home?
Arizona probably is like my home. That's where I spent that's where I was born and everything. But I don't like Phoenix teams at all. In fact, it's interesting because like my technical home teams I despise, which is interesting. So I guess I'm not loyal to
home. You should be a Cardinals fan.
No, or a Suns fan.
Be a Suns fan.
Nope.
The Coyotes
fan.
No.
Diamondbacks.
I don't watch baseball, but no, I've always been like that. And I think most of my family is the same way. Like my mom is a Giants fan. My grandpa was a Rams fan because he grew up in San Diego. Chargers. Why did I say Rams? So like all my family is not.
How did you? Okay, let me ask you this. How did you? Because I know Jay doesn't actually really have, other than the 49ers, you don't even have a favorite basketball team. How did you pick your teams? Like, how did you pick the Warriors?
People I knew, like people I was around, people I knew, like close people in my family.
With your friends were Warriors fans?
It was either Warriors or Lakers, Raiders, or Niners. So out of those, like Niners, Dubs. But I'm also a fan of of course, Portland. So I love the Blazers. Like I and then other teams that I've just come to love are like the Pels and stuff. But I'm not a baseball fan. Not a college football. I guess I'm a kind of a homer because U of O. So yeah, I mean,
were those teams winning when you became their fan?
No, Warriors weren't. Niners have never won in my lifetime. So
it wasn't even the We Believe Warriors. Not even then.
No.
So it was pre-Steph.
No, I wasn't really a basketball fan when like Monte was running the courts. So yeah, but Niners have never won, so you can't call me a bandwagon.
I was trying to.
Yeah, but Fluent, you're not excluded too because you're Chicago. You're Canadian and you're a fan of LA and.
Well, I was when I became a Laker fan, there was no team in Toronto. And the games that we got up here most frequently were Lakers and Celtics because it's Lakers and the Celtics. So those are the games that were like, we would get the occasional, Pistons. Got a lot of Bucks games, Bulls. We got a lot of Bulls games, which I hated. I know everyone thinks like because I have Jordan 1 that I was this huge Bulls. I hated the Bulls. I would get late night Laker games. And so I was always up. So it was the only time that I had control of the TV because I'm the youngest of 3 brothers. So I never had control of the TV and a dad who sat there. My dad was like, click, 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 seeing he didn't care what was on. He cared what else was on. Right.
Yeah.
Click, click. His first remote was me. He'd be like, and I'd go turn like,
yeah.
change the channel. But so at night when they were sleeping, I could sit up and watch, and so we'd have like Laker games.
Yeah.
And so I became a Laker fan. We didn't have a team, and then I tell everybody the story. It was Mike Ditka's rookie year coaching, and it's like 82, 83 something. And my uncle, who's from Chicago, was like, "Hey, you got to watch a real football game, like because football we would call football soccer." Because we're Greek, that's what we called it. Podosfero literally translates into football. And so he's like, watch a real thing. And I saw Walter Payton rush for like 100-something yards. Mike Ditka walking up and down the sideline, chomping on his gum, right? And they beat the Lions by a field goal in overtime. And I'm like, oh, Walter Payton's like the dude. And then a couple years later, they win the Super Bowl. So I'm like, oh, cool. I picked this team, and then they're good and they win. And so I picked, and again, Toronto still doesn't have a pro football team. So it's not like I'm selling out my hometown. And then of course, then I moved. So it didn't matter because then I moved all over the place. Like I've lived in like 30 cities, 4 different countries. Like I've been all over the place.
Yeah.
But when I came back and Toronto had a team, I'm like, yeah, I'm still going to support them. But the Lakers are still like, if they're playing against each other, I'm cheering for the Lakers. Like, no doubt about it. No dude about it. That's a Canadian.
Okay, Jay. So now what happened?
My uncle, since I was this high, my uncle was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. My other uncle was a New York Giant fan, and my mother had a crush on Mean Joe Green. So yeah, my mother had a crush on Mean Joe Green. So
commercial.
I'm like 5 years old, and I'm watching football. But then as time goes on, I mean, I asked my father. This is in 1980. I asked my father. So I was like, "Pops, who is your team?" And he was like, "I'm a 49er fan." I was like, "Who?" He was like, "The 49ers." He's like, "We're terrible, but we just got a new quarterback. His name's Joe Montana." I was like, "All right, Pop, I'm gonna start watching your team." And I started watching his team and went to the NFC Championship, played against the Cowboys, and I've been a 49er fan since 1981, and I've been down with the 49ers ever since. That's my crew.
Well, Jay, obviously, well, both of you, but Jay and Flint, do you guys come from like, is your immediate family very like sports focused? Like not just your siblings, but like your parents, grandparents, was it pretty like ingrained in your family?
Mine not at all.
Really?
Not at all. Like my dad would watch soccer, right? Like all the time. My mom's zero interest in sports. Both my brothers, my one brother played football. He's a huge Saints fan. But so I did grow up with him. He loved football. My other brother's a baseball fan, but never really sports. Like I grew up with like, it was all about cars. Like I could fill a room with all the car magazines. They were both like fiddling around, try to be mechanics, like, whatever. So it was never sports. When I was born, I'm gonna give you way too much information. I was born with a hole in my heart. Mrs. Fluent filled it. No, I'm just kidding. I always tell her that.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. That's why she's still around. Yeah, that's why she's still around for that reason right there.
I actually couldn't play sports until I grew, and then my heart grew and grew over the hole. So they were like, you can't play sports when I was young. So I was never really, I would watch a lot of sports, but I never played. And I think that's where my interest and really like when people say like, you didn't really watch when you were a kid. No, that's actually all I did when I was a kid because I couldn't play. So all I did was like, we had the satellite. We can get like local games from Portland, from LA, from Utah, and it would be like, I would just watch sports all the time. And then when if there wasn't a game on, I'd be playing. Like, I know it wasn't the same as like Tecmo Bowl, but eventually like Madden came out and all those other things came out. And so like, I see my son now playing 2K and it's like, how do you know the 13th guy on Houston's bench? Like, how the hell do you know that? And he goes, 2K. So he just knows all these guys. And then I'm like, how do you know? Like when he, I swear I didn't do this. When he put Jerry West in his top 10, I'm like, what did the hell you know about Jerry West? I go, oh, I use him all-time Lakers. Dude's crazy. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, so it like, I did. So it was kind of like the original version of that is that I would play and watch so much because I couldn't do it myself. So that's where I kind of fell in love with it.
Okay.
To answer Sebastian's question, Sebastian asked me, how am I not a Knicks fan? So my uncle in 1985 calls the house and asks, yo, I got a couple tickets to go see the Knicks. Well, as you know, Tone, in 1985, something happened with the New York Knicks. They won the lottery.
They cheated.
They got Patrick Ewing.
They cheated.
So I'm super excited. Number one, I get to go hang with my uncle because he's my hero. And number two, I'm going to watch the Knicks with my uncle. Preseason game, they play against the Indiana Pacers. They play against the Indiana Pacers. Ewing gets in a fight and gets thrown out in the second quarter. Tone, do you know I haven't been to a Knicks game since?
I actually would have thought you'd be a Sixers fan.
And I was a Philly fan. I was.
I know
that was my crew.
Back in the day.
Yeah,
okay.
That was my crew.
Right, they would tell you.
Yeah, because you're not loyal to any fan base. Yeah.
I was a big time Doc fan. I was a big time Philadelphia. I dug Andrew Toney. I dug Doc. And I dug Bobby Jones. And Philly's right down the road. But my uncle was a Knicks fan, and He took me to go see the Knicks. Ewing gets thrown out of the game in a preseason game. I haven't been to a Knicks game since then.
But you know what's interesting? I got to be honest with you. I find it odd, both of you. I do. I find it odd because I know, like wherever I was born, and if I was there for a while, if I was there. Oh, sorry. This is the most important one. Yes, absolutely. Hi, Coach Tony. This is Mateus. You are the best coach. I'll see you tomorrow. Basketball practice.
Boy.
Mateus is great, and Mateus is probably the best player on my team. So shout out to
Mateus. He is now. He is now.
So I find it weird that you're not, because if I was born and raised in a city that had professional sports teams, I feel like that would be my team. Like I feel like that. Like if I was born now, I feel like I would be like a Raptor fan. I would be like a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, a Toronto Blue Jays fan. I just feel like I would be. But then again, I guess my favorite team in baseball was Montreal Expos growing up. So maybe I was just a contrarian from birth. I don't know. But I just feel like I would. I don't know. But I do gravitate. I told you the Dodgers. Like I do gravitate to the city that, like growing up, I'm telling way too much. We got to end in a minute here. But I wanted to be an actor. Like when I was a kid, I was in like a couple of movies, a couple of cheesy commercials. And so all my dream was always move to LA, be in LA. So I think that probably had part of the.
Yeah, you like all Cali, a lot of Cali.
I like, everything Cali with the exception of the Bears.
But you've lived in California.
Oh yeah. I've lived a couple of places. Can you just confirm here? I gotta just really quickly. Fluent Jr. wants to make sure that I talked to you and told you about his favorite duo, most underrated duo.
Yeah. Yes. Can you hear us?
Yes. Okay. All right. Good night, buddy. Love you.
Go to bed.
He's on. Yeah.
Go to bed. Gotta go to school in the morning.
Yep.
Love you.
Love you. All right. Double P. Looking like old Thursday night football games. LOL. Can't imagine Amazon wanting to pay for this.
I don't know nothing now. Minnesota just scored. They actually looking pretty good. So they are looking pretty good. So and to the dude in the chat, Zen Master, what's with the logic about me rocking a Bob Cousy jersey? Number one, how old do you think I am? Number two, what's this whole thing about me being old? Just so you guys know, I'm not old. I'm just not as young as I used to be. I still could do the same stuff that I used to be able to do. I just can't do it as much as I used to. That's all.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Jake can still cook. He's still got skills, but I think
go to bed.
I know. I'll come up and tuck you in.
Go to bed. Love you. Bye. Go to bed.
We got to end the show. I got to go tuck them in.
I know. She looked like her daddy. I need you to.
It's like, what time does the show end? I'm like, actually,
in a couple of minutes. In a couple of minutes.
Listen, got to take advantage. You got to take advantage. After they grow up and they don't want it. They don't want you to tuck them in no more.
Okay. Last one from Angie. Mines are Bulls, Ducks, Cubs, Orioles, Packers. We didn't know the Packers.
Most of the people, Angie, in the Midwest are ingrained in where they're from. So if you from Cleveland, more than likely you a Browns fan, you a Cavs fan, and an Indians fan. Like if you're in Cleveland, I'm 100% confident you are not a Detroit Piston fan. If you're from Cleveland, you're a Bulls fan.
I missed your answer, but what's wrong with rocking a Cousy jersey?
Nothing wrong with rocking a Cousy jersey. Nothing.
And you know how I feel about the Celtics. I would still rock a Cousy jersey.
If I had a Bill Russell jersey, I would absolutely rock a Bill Russell jersey.
Maybe next week. Next week, can we find out why people are hating on the older generation so much? Like I don't understand it. Listen.
I know why. I know exactly why, Tom.
Because old heads hate on our generation.
No,
you say Magic's better than Steph, and you won't even hear a different argument.
Magic is better.
I'm on your guys' side.
Magic is a better point guard than Steph. But that being said, did you not hear? I did a debate, and we had to pick the best era of basketball, and I picked today. So how can you say I shit on today's era when I'm telling you I pick today? No, but what I won't stand for is people saying, well, if I went back in time 50 years, you had to kick their butts. You better kick their butts if you go back 50 years with all the knowledge you have. And so, like, it just, I hate, they played with the rules that were in place, and they were the best of their era based on the rules and the game, the way that it was. You can't expect someone from the 70s to be a great 3-point shooter. You know why?
No, you
He
can't.
didn't have a damn 3-point line. So it's like
No,
it's
man.
just dumb to disrespect it. Love each generation and appreciate them for what they did, because they were the best of their time based on the information that they had. And it changed. I guarantee you that you're not going to find anyone who can post up like anybody in the olden days, because they don't. I guarantee you, centers today don't even know what the hell a drop step is.
Right.
That make it better or
That's a
worse?
fact.
It's not better or worse. It's different based on the way the game was played. That's all I'm going to say. I know that we're out of time. I have a couple of things that I need to shout out. One, you're going to buy merchandise from the WWE, the NFL, and the NBA anyways. Go to sportsfluent.com, click the link, and get a discount on all that stuff. 2, check out the blogs. There's a million of them. I'm not going to tell you. I've got everything on there. 3, it's Fluent top 10s this week. This week, we got your boy right here, Chill. We got Ticket. We got Ori from Hoop Social, and one surprise guest who are going to come on. They're going to give their top 10 all-time NBA players. And then they're going to all be invited on to debate why the other person is wrong. So it's Fluent Top 10 is going to be a fire episode on Tuesday.
I can't wait to watch that. That sounds so fantastic.
Don't worry, it's only an hour long, so it can't get too crazy.
And I have a little plug for myself. I will be starting a new show as well, in addition to Fluent Chill. But I'm not going to tell you what it is or when it is, but it's coming soon. So that should be fun.
What does
Zen
that?
Master, just so you know, I don't take myself.
Okay.
I don't take myself as serious as you think I do. I'm one of the biggest class clowns you'll ever meet. But when I constantly hear, not just from you, but all people, especially the younger dudes, how old I am, I'm like, yo, I ain't that old. It's like somebody continuously telling you that you fat. Like, what are you talking about? No, I'm not.
Oh, well, straight up, I'm old. I'll take it. I'm old and I'm
if
fat.
you're over like 15, you're old. So
if you hear it 200 times, you start thinking like, am I really? I'm like, I'm not that old. I still can do a lot of the stuff that I used to be able to do. I can still do it. I just can't do it 5-6 days a week like I did. That's all.
Jay, I'm 87. I'll bust any one of these dudes' ass in a game of ball, and I don't give a damn. How about that? How about that?
Boom. There you guys get. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for y'all that showed up today a little bit early. This will be our new show time, so make sure to come through. Tell your friends, tell your wives. Okay, talk to you guys later. Jay?
Take it light, but take it.
Tell your friends, tell your wives.
No, hide your kids, hide your wives. Oh, you remember that?